Good evening. We'll now call to order the Newton County Board of Commissioners meeting for July 21st, 2026. I'll ask Commissioner Henderson, would you have our invocation? And Commissioner Long, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Would everyone bow their heads, please? Most gracious Heavenly Father, we come before thee with thanksgiving in our heart. We come just to say thank you for all that you have done for us in our lives. And then, we want to thank you for this day that soon will be ending because of you and because of you allowed to see it. But most of all, work with us, turn us in the direction that you would have us go. In our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ's name, amen.
The next item would be to adopt tonight's agenda. We have an amendment to the agenda before we adopt our agenda, and that would be to move items 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, and those are grants for our juvenile court, to move to our consent agenda tonight.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, thank you. Those will be moved. We'll move to item 4, and that would be public comments. Each speaker is allowed 3 minutes to comment on any agenda topic. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, thought we did that. Okay, now we need to adopt the agenda since we've got that amendment. Thank you.
So moved.
All right, all in favor? Okay, thank you. Now we'll go to the public comments. Each speaker will have 3 minutes to comment regarding agenda topics only. Do we have anyone that wants to speak tonight?
Good evening. I wasn't trying to be the first. I'm speaking on item number 17 on the agenda, the proposed $138,000 professional services agreement with Deen's LLC for the Board of Assessors appraisal services. My concern is straightforward. Before Newton County approves a 6-figure agreement for appraisal services, the public should understand what due diligence was performed. How was this vendor selected, and why this agreement appears to be moving forward without a visible competitive procurement process. In my preliminary review, I could not locate an open, closed, or pending bid for this appraisal service on the county's procurement website. I also could not locate a company website, a meaningful public internet footprint, or evidence that other counties are currently using this company for appraisal services, other than Lowndes County back in 2018. According to my review of the Georgia Secretary of State's website, the entity appears to have limited corporate information on file, including only one officer since its inception in 2015. This raises several questions. What specific due diligence was performed before this agreement was placed on today's agenda? Was a competitive bid, request for proposals, request for qualifications, or any comparable procurement process used? If not, what exception or policy allowed the county to proceed with this one? Please also explain why a company located approximately 3.5 hours away from Covington was selected for appraisal services affecting property values in Newton County. Were local or regional appraisal firms considered? If so, which firms? And why was this vendor determined to be the best choice for Newton County? I was recently told by a commissioner that residents should trust that the board is acting in the best interest of the county constituents. Trust, however, is built through transparency. When the public cannot readily find a bid posting or prior county engagements with this vendor, a company website, or other evidence supporting the selection, it is reasonable to ask for a full explanation before the agreement is approved. I'm asking the board to either provide that explanation this evening or delay action on item number 17.
I'm sorry, ma'am, your time's up. Do you mind giving us your name?
Sorry, Janelle West.
Thank you. Do we have anyone else? Okay, not seeing anyone else, we will close that portion of the meeting. We'll go to reports from the chairman. We have a presentation tonight, a proclamation presentation for Dr. Izzy. If we could, Dr. Izzy, okay, would you come forward, please? And I will ask my executive assistant, Ms. LaTonja Hamp, if she would read this proclamation, please.
Welcome, Dr. Izzy. Proclamation, Newton County Board of Commissioners, Dr. Lakeisha Izzard. Whereas the Newton County Board of Commissioners proudly recognizes Dr. Lakeisha Izzard, an accomplished educator, licensed professional counselor, national certified counselor, approved clinical supervisor, Georgia certified school counselor, executive public speaker, author, mentor, and nationally respected behavioral health advocate whose distinguished career has transformed countless lives through counseling, education, leadership, mentorship, and community service while advancing the mental, emotional, and behavioral well-being of individuals and families throughout Georgia and beyond. And whereas Dr. Izzy has faithfully served Newton County and the state of Georgia throughout numerous leadership appointments, including as Newton County's representative of the Georgia Department of Behavioral Health and Development, Disabilities Region 3 Advisory Council, while also serving in influential leadership roles with the American Counseling Association of Georgia and the National Alliance on Mental Illness, Georgia, where she established strategic initiatives, expanded advocacy efforts, developed diversity, equity, and inclusion programs, strengthened professional partnerships, and advanced statewide behavioral health awareness. And whereas Dr. Izzy's commitment to collaborative leadership has fostered meaningful partnerships with numerous local, state, and national organizations, including the Georgia Department of Public Health and the Georgia Department of Behavioral Health and Development Disabilities, NAMI, Georgia, Silence the Shame, Clark Atlanta University, the American Counseling Association, the American Psychological Association, the National Board for Certified Counselors, faith-based organizations, and community stakeholders, resulting in innovative programs that have strengthened behavioral health outcomes, community resilience, and public awareness throughout Georgia. And whereas Dr. Izzy, her extraordinary contributions have been recognized through numerous prestigious honors and awards, including the historic One Newton Award, the Newton County Community Champion Award, the NAMI Georgia President's Award, Outstanding Leader of the Year Award, the Georgia Women's Legislative Caucus, Nikki T. Randall Servant Leadership Award, recognition by Georgia State Senate, the American Counseling Association Southern Region Leadership Award, and many additional distinctions honoring her pioneering leadership, innovation, advocacy, diversity initiatives, and unwavering commitment to public service. And now, therefore, be it proclaimed, the Newton County Board of Commissioners hereby extends its highest commendation and sincere appreciation to Dr. Lakeisha Izzard for her exemplary service, extraordinary leadership, unwavering compassion, and distinguished contributions to behavioral health, counseling, education, advocacy, and community leadership. The Newton County Board of Commissioners further congratulates Dr. Izzy on the successful celebration of the 7th Annual Black Men Thrive Symposium, along with Dr. Mariah Cassell, and expresses its deepest gratitude for her continued commitment to improving the lives of the individual families and communities through servant leadership, innovation, collaboration, and hope. In witness whereof, the Newton County Board of Commissioners has caused this proclamation to be adopted this 21st day of July, 2026. Chairman Linda D. Hayes and our Newton County Board of Commissioners. Thank you, Dr. Izzy. Dr. Izzy, I'd like to say there is so much more that is being added to your proclamation. It is extensive, but we are absolutely so proud of you, and thank you so very much for your continued support in Newton County. I know Chairman Hayes, as well as our Board of Commissioners, would like to take a picture after you have a few words.
Yes. Thank you so much. I said I wasn't going to cry, you all. But indeed, my story is still being written, but it's just amazing to be honored for the diligent public service that you work so diligently to move forward in on a daily and a weekly and a monthly and a yearly basis in partnering with all of our wonderful organizations here in Newton County, as well as our amazing community stakeholders here in Newton County. I am proud to be a Newton County resident and to be serving the residents here. But I want to give a special and a warm thank you to Commissioner Mason, as well as to all of our Board of Commissioners and leaders here in the county and our county manager. This is what you all work diligently for in your leadership in order to stand alongside someone like me who is a leader in this county. And it feels wonderful to serve individuals who we consider to be a vulnerable populations, such as the mental health community, the substance use community, and even the incarcerated. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
We would love for you all to come forward and take a photograph. I think Mr. Bryan will be taking the picture. Dr. Izzy, if you could stand up front in front of the partition here, and our commissioners and the chair can stand behind you, supporting you. Thank you, Dr. Izzy.
Commissioner Mason.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to add to that it's definitely an honor for Newton County Board of Commissioners to recognize Dr. Izzard for her outstanding leadership and unwavering commitment to advancing mental health awareness in our community. For the past 7 years, as we stated, through the Black Men Thrive Symposium, she has created a safe space for education, for healing, and honest conversations that have empowered countless men and families. And so, Dr. Izzy, your vision, your compassion, and your dedication have made a lasting impact on Newton County and beyond. And it has been a pleasure working with you for the past 6 years on the Black Men Thrive Symposium. The very first year, I was a keynote speaker. It was an amazing opportunity. And then for the past 5 years, she has had me there as a panelist, as well as a breakout session leader. And the topics that we talk about are just phenomenal and truly transforming men's lives. And so I'm just glad that on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, we were able to proudly present this proclamation to you, recognizing your remarkable service and congratulating you on all the work that you do. We are even looking forward to soon launching the Stepping Up initiative, where we are, and so we are very, very excited. We have our task force already, and we're going to be helping to address mental health, as Dr. Izzard stated, even in our incarcerated individuals. We want to address that concern in our community. We're seeing mental health even expanding amongst our youth. And so we want to be able to address those concerns as well. And so I think launching the Stepping Up initiative is going to be an amazing launch to what we're going to do and how we're going to transform the lives here in our community to be able to allow them to obtain the resources that they truly need so that they can be great citizens here in Newton County. And so thank you, Dr. Izzard, for allowing me to work with you these past 6 years. It has been an honor and a privilege, and we're going to continue to do this work for years to come. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Eason. Now we'll move to the report from the county manager, Mr. Brown.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Commissioners. I would like to invite Ms. Frida Reed to come up to the stage. She's going to give us a wonderful report on the Memory Cafe that she started in the Senior Enrichment Center.
Good evening, everyone. We stand before you honored to bring to you something that's dear to our hearts. And this is a disease that is a unforgotten disease, but it's something that's popular now within not only our seniors, but in the general population. And we're talking about dementia and Alzheimer's. We were privileged to be selected by Northeast Georgia to become a pilot program for the Memory Cafe. And what you want to say, what is the Memory Cafe? The Memory Cafe is a session that we have every fourth Friday from 10 to 12, and where our caregivers come together with their people that they're caring for, and we just have a lot of fun. We have a lot of organizations that come out and volunteer and work with the seniors. You would just be surprised of those that didn't speak and didn't talk to their family members when they come out into the public. You would not think they would talk and speak, but we have ladies now that sing. We have ladies now that dance. We have caregivers that feel like when they come in, you could hear it when they go. And so I'm going to let Dr. McCrae speak to you, because this is something that's dear to her heart, because she's been through it, she's gone through it, and she's a worker. And I'd like to introduce to you also Ms. Justine Walker, who is my deputy director, and she's working with the program as well.
Thank you, Ms. Frieda. Good evening, everyone. A couple things. I'm still a caregiver of an adult child, and I was in that sandwich generation, they call it, where you're caring for a parent and your child at the same time. And one of the things that happens with caregivers, one of the things, I don't want to give too many stats, but I want to talk about this, that 30 to 40% of dementia caregivers suffer from depression. And clinical studies show that almost 50 to 70% is reported from doctors. And the word respite, sometimes people think respite just means a break, but it's not. It's taking a step back from a situation that's unpleasant and exhausting. And most caregivers feel ashamed to admit that they're exhausted or that it's unpleasant. And when they come to the Memory Cafe, we give them an opportunity to forget about that. We have a party for 2 hours, but what we do is cognitively challenging to the person with dementia, but they don't know it. So they're just having fun with balloons, playing volleyball, dancing, and as she said, the caregiver sees their loved one come back to them through music, through arts, through dance, and through those activities. So I invite you to come out again. I heard you came out when I was dealing with bereavement, but we invite you and the public, please come, volunteer, support, and see what's happening and transforming lives here at the Memory Cafe.
We have a short film video for you to see, and it's touching. You know, how many in here have relatives or know someone that's dealing with dementia or Alzheimer's? Okay. All right. So, I got chills. Okay, Brian, you can roll it.
Hope and connection can be found in unexpected places, like a memory cafe. To bring about this much joy, laughter, support, and friendships, it starts with the dedication of those who have a big heart for their community.
What motivated me to support the creation of a memory cafe in my region was both personal and community driven. I've seen firsthand how isolation affects people living with dementia and their caregivers. Too often, they lack safe, welcoming spaces where they can relax, feel understood, and connect with others who truly get it. It goes beyond providing resources. It builds community, dignity, and just the joy you get to see on the participants' faces.
To be able to marry a program once a month to bring engagement to both parties was so innovative to me. I researched it, I talked with people who also were doing memory cafes in different parts of the country and heard what a win-win opportunity it was.
The goal is to spark fulfillment and connection. Those in attendance get to take part in activities that engage the mind, like brain games and puzzles or even physical activities.
Well, we play some games, and one of them is hitting a ball over a net. If you're not enthusiastic about that, you need to have your blood pressure checked.
The fun doesn't stop there. Guests get to also relax and enjoy music that may bring back some memories.
The really wonderful thing about music is it is so complex with all these different elements of the beat, the lyrics, the speed, the melody, and all of those elements are processed in different areas of the brain. So the reason why music is so effective with people who might have cognitive loss is that it's activating areas of the brain that aren't affected by dementia or other neurocognitive disorders. And so that's why we love to use music with older adults, because we're still exercising the brain, we're still working on the existing connections that are there, and that's why someone who might not be able to tell you what they had for breakfast an hour before can sing every word to You Are My Sunshine.
But a memory cafe is more than just activities. These moments create a sense of belonging and celebration for both individuals living with dementia and their caregivers.
I enjoyed it all. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm 70 years old, and I'm going to try and continue to come. I learned a lot, and I saw some people that I have not seen in 2 or 3 years. That's what you get in memories in the connection, because that's what it's all about. With my clients, it uplifts her.
Just knowing that there's somebody that knows what I'm going through and has maybe been there or has studied this and knows how maybe I can get out of it.
It's a complete program that helps mentally, physically, and I would even say from spiritual.
Some are able to come together.
This memory cafe, this been a godsend to me. This is what she be looking forward to. It's be just me and her all day long, every day. So for her to get out and be, she enjoyed it. Look at her. Look at her. That's my big girl over there.
While others come in support as the caregiver.
My brother, who's 13 months older than I am, was diagnosed with dementia 3 years ago. He was able to come here a few visits, and unfortunately it progressed so rapidly he was not. But this has been beneficial not only me, but my wife, and anytime that we get to share and be around other caregivers, it gives us strength and support also. Very important. And we learn something every meeting that we come to.
You get to share your experiences with other caregivers so they know that they're not alone, that they've got a community out here. So that's very important. You don't want to be isolated in this situation.
Yeah. I learned quickly, if you take it all upon yourselves, you're not going to last. It's not going to be something you can do.
It's a wonderful opening for the community, because I can remember back when my dad had dementia, there was nothing other than nursing homes or something like that, a family outings and stuff like that.
It really is like a family. I volunteered not knowing what to expect and not knowing what would be expected of me, and it's been a total blessing to be with the people who come and care for them and help them and encourage them. I would tell anyone that should be here, they should try it at least once, and they will keep coming back, because it is a warm, friendly, open, caring environment where we have a lot of fun together.
It really keeps them going, I think.
And that drive is what every community needs.
Supporting the creation of this cafe felt like a natural step in ensuring that our community is inclusive, that it is compassionate, and most importantly, responsive to the needs of all its members.
Thank you for giving us this opportunity. I would like to say that this is not only for our seniors at our senior center, but it's a community program. So if you know of anyone that would like to come on 4 Fridays of each month and from 10 to 12, our arms are open. This month our theme is Hawaiian Luau. Last month it was disco. So they've been having a good time, and I'm going to let Dr. McCrae close, but I thank you, commissioners, and thank you, County Manager James Brown, for allowing us to do this.
Thank you so much.
The last thing is, I just want to remind caregivers, sometimes you think you need a break from the people you're caring for, but as you heard in the video, they need a break as well, the person living with dementia. They need to be around people that are like them. And so we are I represent BJM for Barbara Jean Metcalf Dementia Services, and I am grateful to the Newton County Senior Services and to this organization for allowing me to partner and actually be the person to spearhead and to move this forward for not just this county, but people came from Rockdale County and observed what we're doing, and they want to do what we're doing in Rockdale County. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, it's 7:30, so we will go to our zonings hearings now.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening, members of the Board of Commissioners. Our first item this evening is old business, and our June board meeting. This was an item, this is the moratorium that we had to go back to close out. It was tabled for 30 days, so it is back before the board now. It has already been approved. The amendment for convenience stores has already been approved, and now we just have to go ahead and terminate the moratorium on convenience stores. And any, I guess.
Can we make a motion?
Yes, because we had a public hearing last time, so yes, we can go to the motion.
Is there a motion?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion. I'd like to make a motion to table this again so we can have the UDO meeting that we're having this week and make sure that all these items tie in to the current UDO changes and make sure that everybody understands this amendment once again. It's such a big part of the UDO, and so I would like to table it at least until 30 days.
Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, thank you. We go to the next.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our second item this evening is an appeal case for the Riverstone Grove mixed-use development. This is a preliminary plat that was heard before the Planning Commission in June. Case number is APP 26-000001. The name of the appeal applicant is Samir Narsidani of 21st Century LLC. The original case number, which was the preliminary plat, is PP 26-000001, and that applicant was the same, Samir Narsidani. The address, or we have several addresses. There are 3460, 3488, 3494 Salem Road. It's actually located at the corner of Salem Road and Kirkland Road. Tax ID numbers are 0012-031, 32, and 33. The proposed use is single-family residential townhomes and retail, so it is a mixed-use development. Current zonings are office institutional, single-family residential, and they're in the Salem overlay Tier 2, which is moderate commercial, as well as Tier 3, which is the town center. Watersheds are South River and Yellow River. Character areas, the live-work corridor. The proposed density is 4.76 units per acre for the portion that falls in Salem Tier 2, and 6.96 units per acre for the portion that falls in Tier 3. And this is in Commissioner District 3. So the request today is to appeal the Planning Commission's decision to deny the preliminary plat for the Riverstone Grove mixed-use development. And the original request was to present for approval the preliminary plat for this mixed-use development. And they're proposing 28 townhomes and a 4,400 square foot retail building as part of the mixed use. So on May 26th, the Planning Commission denied the preliminary plat for the Riverside Grove mixed-use development. Several individuals expressed concern and opposition at the Planning Commission meeting in reference to the existing high residential density on the western side of the county and traffic congestion in the project area. One attendee inquired whether a traffic study was warranted for this development. So Planning Commission members reiterated concerns with potential additional traffic that a development with townhomes might bring, despite the widening of Salem Road by GDOT. And again, the character area is live work. Appropriate use in that character area is for development node, and appropriate zoning, we have single family as well as office institutional, which are both included in this petition. So the plat analysis. So it's the role of the Planning Commission, when it was presented to them, to review the plat for compliance with sections 460 Salem Overlay District and section 1415-030, which is reviewed preliminary plats per our UDO. So staff has reviewed the plat for potential substantial adverse effects on the neighboring properties and transportation network. And there is some impact anticipated with additional cars. However, GDOT is currently widening Salem Road. The Salem overlay does not have a minimum lot size for townhomes, but the size and number of the townhomes allowed per acre complies with the overlay requirements. Residential and commercial units share two entrances on Kirkland Road and the other on Salem Road. And the development is bordered by duplexes to the east and multifamily residential properties to the north, interspersed with commercial properties to the north and south. The existing land use and zoning districts in the immediate surrounding area are compatible, and the development complies with the comprehensive plan. Therefore, staff is of the opinion that a proposed preliminary plat may be appropriate for the subject site. If the plat is approved, it is conceptual in nature until the final plat is approved. And just a brief background, it is located at the intersection of Salem Road and Kirkland Road, falls within office institutional, single-family residential zoning districts, and it meets the required conditions for mixed-use development. So the tier in the overlay is what allows the residential to occur in the office institutional zoning, as well as, the residential zonings. So the parcel consists of single-family residential. It had a house on there previously. There was also a business, and that was been demolished. And the other two parcels that make up this development are undeveloped. So they're proposing a 4,400 square foot retail building with parking and 28 lots for townhomes with the required open space, the mail kiosk, parking, sidewalks, stormwater detention pond, utilities, picnic pavilion, playground, etc. Comments from staff. So the plat consists of 28 townhomes, 4,400 square feet of retail. It's being divided into 3 units on 4.35 acres. And the following comments were made at various departments that completed the review. So the Newton County Fire Department reviewed in accordance with the International Fire Code regulations and recommended for approval with one condition. So the one additional hydrant is needed, and the proposed hydrant is over 600 feet away from the other one. So the plans do show a suggested location for this extra hydrant. The Transportation Department, they reviewed and recommended approval with one condition, which is to obtain a driveway and encroachment permit from GDOT for all driveways on Kirkland Road. Development Services also reviewed in accordance with the UDO, recommended approval. They had to remove one townhome, however, to maintain the density allowed in the overlay. And the stormwater review was also approved for detention and runoff. GIS, they reviewed with one approval. They had to change a street name since we had multiple streets already with the word stone in them. The Newton County Water and Sewage Authority, they reviewed and recommended for approval. And the GDOT reviewed and approved access to and from the Salem Road. So in conclusion, the proposed preliminary plat, it was denied on 5/26 by the Planning Commission. The existing land use and zoning districts in the immediate surrounding area are compatible, and the development complies with the comp plan. Therefore, staff is of the opinion that the proposed preliminary plat may be appropriate for the subject site. If the plat is approved, it is conceptual in nature until the final plat is approved. Recommended conditions. So the proposed plat has been reviewed by Development Services and meets the applicable zoning and subdivision requirements in section 1415-030, which is the preliminary plat review, as well as the Salem overlay requirements in division 460. And staff recommends approval of the plat subject to the following conditions. Prior to obtaining a land disturbance permit, all comments from the Newton County Fire Department, Development Services, and Transportation Department shall be addressed. And prior to obtaining a land disturbance permit, the comments from external agencies, such as the Newton County Water and Sewage Authority and the GDOT and the Georgia Soil and Water Conservation Commission shall be addressed. So this is the location of the parcel. We have Kirkland Road and Salem Road. So these are the 3 parcels in question today. This is the current zoning. 1 parcel is office institutional, and the remaining 2 are single-family residential. These are the overlay tiers. So tier 2 in the green, which is moderate commercial, and then we have the tier 1 residential in yellow. This is the proposed preliminary plat for the subdivision. So we have our commercial section on this end here, and then the 28 townhomes with access from Kirkland Road as well as Salem Road. And if there are any questions for staff? If not, this is a public hearing, Madam Chair.
Okay. At this time, we'll open the,
I have a question.
oh, you had a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Commissioner Cooper.
Thank you, Madam Chair. First one I want to ask is, we had a moratorium in place, right?
Yes, sir.
And that was started in October, back in October 2024.
Moratorium?
Moratorium.
About August.
Okay.
In August, yes.
So we did have a moratorium back in 2024.
Oh, yes, in 2024, yes.
Right, in place. Okay. And it's supposed to end in August 19th, 2026. So my question is, how was this applicant was able to apply in 2026 on it?
So this is one of the preliminary plats that was already in the hopper prior to the moratorium happening. They had already completed their pre-application meeting and started work on the project. So there was already one on the list of items that we had. We had like about 9 subdivisions that were in just before the moratorium was enacted.
So why did it take 2 years to apply for the application?
So part of it was the review process. A part of it, I think the applicant would best be able to answer that, but as we got the projects in, they were turned around, and sometimes it takes a while for the applicant to resubmit because they have to meet certain criteria. We would not bring the plat to the Planning Commission until it has met the requirements of the ordinance. So sometimes that can be a lengthy process.
Okay, and also, we got 4.3 acres, and we have the 4,400 square feet building. And how are we gonna place those 28? Are we gonna meet code per unit, per acres?
Yes, sir, they do meet the density. The density for townhomes in the Salem overlay, it's about 7 units per acre, and they're at 4.35 units. And they had to remove one of the townhomes to meet that criteria. So they had 29 originally.
And also I know the planning asked for a traffic study. So have we done a traffic study?
So this subdivision did not meet the threshold for that. However, that could be at the board's discretion.
Yeah, I would like to see a traffic study because of what we got already going on, President, on the other end, and so, I mean, it's a lot of traffic.
Okay.
So, I mean, we need a traffic study.
Okay.
How old is the traffic study? So why did it not require one?
It doesn't meet the criteria in terms of number of units, right? They have to be 100 units or over for multifamily to hit that threshold.
What is the number of units?
They have 28 units.
So 29 makes it have to get a traffic study?
100 units for multifamily. They're at
Go ahead.
28 townhomes, yeah.
I would like a timeline. Do you have a timeline on this project? Like when it first started, when they started getting the plat, and when did the first revision of this plat go in? Was it in 2024?
It would have been in 2024 prior to August, yes, ma'am.
So why has it taken 2 years?
Because they had to consistently go back to the drawing board to meet the requirements of the ordinance.
Is this the same end user that it was in the beginning?
I believe so, yes, ma'am.
There's another parcel of land too, adjacent to this, that is in the owner's name. What are they gonna do with that one? It's the lot next door.
Can you activate the screen, please?
One more question. Does the 4,000 square foot building, how does that factor into the 4.35 per unit?
So the 4.35 units, that is the density just for the residential portion for the townhomes. And the commercial portion, that doesn't necessarily have like a size restriction. That's restricted by impervious surface.
Okay, so what is that building gonna be? Do we know? You don't
That
know?
was just retail.
Retail in the middle of the development?
Commercial.
The picture's in the
building,
middle of the development. Look at it again, go up there. Where is that
It's here.
retail?
So this is the retail building over here.
Which one? Okay, so it's at the end. I thought it was that little
So it
thing
has
where it
like
says open space.
3 units, yeah, this building right here.
So do you come through the development? I can't see because they got the timer on my screen.
So there's an entrance off of Kirkland Road.
Mhm.
One entrance, and then there's one on Salem Road.
Where is so do you get to the commercial development through the development, or where is the entrance on
No,
Kirkland?
you can access it from Salem Road.
Huh?
Here, you can access it from Salem Road here.
But Salem's gonna have a medium down it, right?
Pardon me?
Will Salem have a median down the middle of it? From the
I'm sorry, this is
DOT?
Kirkland Road, I'm so sorry. This is Kirkland.
Okay.
I'm not sure what GDOT is doing. They're currently expanding that road right now.
I just don't feel like we were provided all the information we need to make a decision on this. I mean, I feel like that it was given to us, not enough time to even look at this whole thing, so. That's why we're asking so many questions, because we don't know anything. I mean, there's some of us were not on the board in 2024.
Correct.
If no one has any more questions, we will open the meeting for the public hearing. If anyone wishing to speak in favor of this zoning, if you would come forward, there'll be a total of 10 minutes to speak in favor.
The sun is cooperating. John Nix on behalf of the applicant with Mark Walton of Patrick and Associates. First of all, in hearing some of the comments, my client is prepared to, even though it's not required, to engage a traffic study. And based on all of the questions, this is more questions than I've ever had before I started making a presentation. My client has also agreed, if it would be to your convenience to get more information, to defer this a cycle, if that would accommodate the board. It's challenging enough to get decisions that you're seeking when you're standing over here, and I would hate for it to be because y'all didn't have enough information. So we would like to ask for a deferral based on what I'm hearing from the board, and we will commit to a traffic study. I don't think so.
Commissioner Cooper? Did you have another question? Okay. Okay, you want to reserve your time?
Oh, you mean for the next time we come, are you deferring or tabling, or you want us to go forward? I'm sorry? Okay. Well then, what I'll do is reserve my time.
Wait a minute. Wait, just 1 second. Okay. Based on your consent, if you want to defer, we can go on with the public hearing the next time. So we can just close this part out.
If it requires my client's consent, we consent to it being tabled or deferred.
Okay. So we can do that for the next time then. I need a motion for that, please. A motion?
Madam Chair, I'll make that motion.
Madam Chair, tabling it for?
60 days.
60 days? Okay.
Do we have?
I made the motion. to
Okay.
table it for 60 days.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor? Okay, so that passes and we'll table it for 60 days.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Oh. Are you wanting the traffic study to be completed in that 60-day period? It might be a little aggressive, but we can try.
You need more time?
Well, it just depends on availability of the traffic engineers.
If you could just get back with Shana?
Yeah, what we can do is see the availability, and then I can report back to her, and maybe that'll adjust the date.
Okay.
Because I think you probably want that before you hear us again.
Okay.
Or you hear us for the first time.
Okay. Is that okay? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Our second petition this evening is also an appeal to the towns at Yellow River Plat Extension. This is case number APP 26-000002. The name of the applicant for the appeal is from Georgia Capital, represented by Jane Blair Myers. The original case number for the plat extension was PP 26-000002, and the applicant was the same, represented by Jane Myers. Property owner is Georgia Capital. The address 730 and 740 North Crowell Road. Tax ID numbers 25-104 and 43-36A. This was a proposed mixed-use development, residential and civic uses, and the existing zonings were DR, which is single and two-family residential, and R2, which is single-family residential. And it is located in the Alma Overlay Tier 1 residential overlay district, as well as the Alma Tier 2, which is a non-residential mixed-use district. It's located in the Yellow River watershed. Character areas are established suburban core and conservation recreation. Density is 3.41 dwelling units per acre. And the size is on 28.16 acres, 96 lots, Commissioner District 4. So this is a plat extension, which means that this preliminary plat was already approved, and they just needed additional time. So the appeal request is they're appealing the Planning Commission's decision to deny the preliminary plat extension for the town to the Yellow River subdivision. And the original request was to present the plat to be extended. And they're proposing 96 lots on the 28 acres. So just a brief history. On January 23rd of 2024, the Planning Commission denied the preliminary plat for the towns of the Yellow River. This is the initial plat that came in. March 19th of 2024, the Board of Commissioners also denied the plat for the towns of the Yellow River. Following litigation, the preliminary plat was approved by the court on July 25th, 2024. On April 30th, the developer submitted traffic study providing project-generated trips to our department and for developments along Crowell Road. The traffic study was complete for the developer based on current edition of the Institute of Transportation Engineers Trip Generation Manual. And it showed a total of 44 trips, 11 inbound, 33 outbound during the morning peak hours, 32 inbound and 22 outbound in the afternoon and evening peak hour trips, and a 24-hour total of 682 two-way trips for the 96 homes that are being proposed there. On May 26, the Planning Commission denied the preliminary plat extension for the towns of the Yellow River mixed-use development. So this is located in character areas of established suburban core, as well as conservation and recreation. Just a bit of background. So the plat was approved on July 25th, 2024. The developer experienced significant delays with permitting required for work in the right-of-way on Crowell Road. So the work in the right-of-way was further complicated by the developer for the nearby Dobbs Landing subdivision, which are also simultaneously working on Crowell Road at the intersection of Harold Dobbs Road and Crowell Road. So the right-of-way construction timetables lengthened as the roadway improvements required by one project interfered with revisions to the other. And the transportation department, they monitored the progress of the road and they verified the delays to be legitimate. On May 26th, it went before the PC for an extension. For this reason, it was denied. So basically, as you'll know, we have Dobbs Landing that is also going up at that very junction, and they are both have to do work on Crowell Road in terms of implementing decel lanes and left turn lanes and so on. So the two projects are kind of working with each other, and that has caused some delays in getting that done. So this is why they're requesting the extension. And again, the property is located on Crowell Road. We have the residential zoning, as well as the Alma Tier 1 and Tier 2 overlays that it's in. So the plat analysis, it was the role of the Planning Commission to review the plat for compliance with Section 1415-3030, which is the preliminary plat review section, as well as Division 450, which is the Alma Crowell Overlay District in our ordinance. Staff has reviewed the plat for the potential substantial adverse effects on neighboring properties and transportation network. Some impact is anticipated with increased traffic due to the addition of new homes. So the plat shows a disturbed area of 13 acres out of the 28.16 acres. There's a total of 96 townhomes and a civic trail that will tie in to the Yellow River Trail system. The minimum house size is approximately 1,100 square feet. The subdivision will have a left turn lane, a deceleration lane, and 2 entrances. Approximately 56% of the development, or 15.9 acres, is dedicated to open space. And 40%, or about 11.26 acres, is required for the open space. The proposed mixed-use development is located with close proximity to other residential subdivisions and the Newton High School. It lies within the established suburban core and the conservation recreation character areas. Staff is of the opinion that the proposed preliminary plat, which lies in the Alma overlay tiers 1 and 2, meets the requirements of the Unified Development Ordinance. There have been no changes from the initial approved plat. If the preliminary plat extension is approved, it is conceptual in nature until the final plat is approved. And the comments we have from staff, from the fire department, it was reviewed in accordance with the IFC regulations and recommended for approval. Our county transportation department reviewed and recommended approval. Development services reviewed according to the UDO, recommended approval, as well as a stormwater review. GIS department, they reviewed and recommended approval, and our water authority reviewed and recommended for approval. So comments from the Planning Commission meeting. So several people spoke in opposition to this development at the May 26, 2026 Planning Commission meeting. Many of those who spoke in opposition indicated that although they did not live in District 4, they were, where the project is located, they were concerned with high residential density on the western side of the county and the potential for increased traffic congestion. A resident who said that she lives on Crowell Road expressed concern with the existing traffic congestion and noted that the area is losing its rural character. Others in attendance expressed concerns with single-family homes being purchased by corporations for rentals rather than being owner-occupied. The Planning Commission expressed notable concern for increasing traffic congestion and that the proposed townhomes could become rentals rather than owner-occupied. So the Planning Commission subsequently denied the preliminary plat extension. In conclusion, on July 25, 2024, the Superior Court of Newton County, Georgia reversed the BOC's decision and approved the initial preliminary plat for the towns of the Yellow River. The applicant is asking for an extension to complete the land disturbance phase and final plat for the project. In reviewing Section 1415-030 and Division 450 of the Newton County Unified Development Ordinance, staff recommends approval of the preliminary plat extension subject to the following conditions. Extend the preliminary plat expiration date for 12 months from this meeting date. Prior to obtaining a land disturbance permit, all comments from the Newton County Fire Marshal, Development Services, and Transportation Department shall be addressed. Prior to obtaining a land disturbance permit, all comments from external agencies such as Newton County Water and Sewer Authority, GDOT, and Georgia Soil and Water Conservation Commission shall be addressed as applicable. The plat will have 2 entrances and will include left turn lanes and decel lanes as approved by the Transportation Department. The trail system shall be open to the public and have benches or seating areas along the trail. The walking trail shall connect to the Yellow River Trail system. The mixed-use development shall conform to all applicable requirements of the Alma overlay, and the civic area will remain privately owned but available to the public. So these are the parcels we're looking at. It's these two over here. There were formerly duplexes on them. This is a nearby Dobbs Landon project that is also in progress right now. So they're working on the roadway here. These are our zonings, R1, and DR. We have our overlay, Alma Tier 2 in green and Tier 1 residential in yellow. This is the proposed preliminary plat for the, that was proposed initially. Like I said, there were no changes from the plat that was already approved. They're just seeking an extension to continue the work, their land disturbance permit, and then get into final plat. And they actually, yeah, so we have our entrances here. Oh, and that's the end of staff's presentation. Madam Chair, this is a public hearing, and if there are any questions for staff.
Commissioner Edwards.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, Shana, so the Superior Court's decision to reverse our decision and approve that final plat caused a delay in the overall timeline process. Am I saying that right?
That would have pushed it back some, as well as the coordinated work they're trying to do with Dobbs Landing to get the to improve Crowell Road in terms of adding the decel lanes, left turn lanes, and so on. So it is a combination of items.
Okay, so and I know probably some of the public is thinking this is you're looking to extend the size of this project when in fact it's not. It's an extension of the process. So
Yeah.
extension of the timeline, is that right?
Correct. It is there, yes, just the time.
And that was in 05 that the court reversed our no?
2020, last year.
I mean 2025,
yes.
yeah.
It was on,
July?
I'll tell you right now, July 24th.
Okay. All right.
Oh,
Thank you.
here.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Madam Chair.
Commissioner Long.
My questions are that you're talking of 2 years. All the studies were done 2 years ago. We've had a lot of change in that area, a lot of road movement, a lot of traffic in that area. So we're talking about old data for 2 years ago on this project. So, you know, for me, I think that the whole area has changed since then. I don't know what takes these people so, I do know what takes these people so long. I know they're flipping these properties and trying to get end users, but I think the thing that I have a problem with is this community, in 1 year things change. Now we're talking about 2 years, and we don't have any updated information. We don't have an updated traffic study or anything. We did not ask for any of that, right, on this plat renewal.
On this extension, no, we did not, because it's the initial preliminary plat they're extending with the initial conditions that were approved.
Okay, but even though they've taken so long, we don't have any updates from any of this stuff.
In terms of an updated traffic study, no, we did not request an updated traffic study.
That is a big concern.
Okay.
Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, Commissioner. It's something about CORDINANCE where it seems as if they want to just put say, 4,000 or 5,000 houses on one little road, and it's already congested, clogged up. And it's my understanding that Judge, if I'm not wrong, correct me please, Judge McAfee, he was the one who overturned what we had. We denied it.
Yes, Judge, yes, Shavita, ma'am, yes, yes, sir.
Yes, and so I would, after we get through with all the public meetings, I'm looking forward to tabling it and getting back with staff and see what we can do, if we can do anything, and hopefully try to either slow it down or stop it.
Any more questions? We'll open the floor
Thank you,
for
Madam
public
Chair.
hearing.
Yes.
Anyone wishing to speak in favor of this zoning, you come forward. There'll be a total of 10 minutes.
Is there we had a presentation.
Can you activate the screen, lady? Yeah, just the side buttons and the lasers in the middle.
So if I want to advance it,
Yeah, just in there.
okay, got it. Members of the Board of Commissioners, thank you for allowing us the opportunity. My name is Kirk Felstool with Smith, Gambrell, and Russell, 1105 West Peachtree Street, Atlanta. Here on behalf of the applicant. I'm sorry for that. So I think we've all kind of established this is not a rezoning process. This is a preliminary plat, and then in this case a preliminary plat extension, which is a compliance exercise. So we want to make sure that we are talking about that. But I do want to talk a little bit about this development, and Sheena's already pointed out some of the items that we are on 28 acres. 96 townhomes at 3.4 units per acre, which is less than what would be allowable. And I understand there are always concerns about traffic, particularly in Newton County, but the property can be developed as a matter of right more intensely than what we are currently doing it at. And a slight correction on the information that was on the date that information was provided. There was a traffic study that was done in April and May of 2025. It was not done in 2024. So it is updated information. The other thing to keep in mind is that part of this development has 56% of the total area as open space, which is again more than what the ordinance would require, which would be 40%. So over half of the development is being preserved as open space or civic space. Another thing that I think is important to this for us to understand, the community to understand as part of this development, that what is happening is that we had already agreed and would follow through on that commitment, and it's represented in the conditions, is that we would construct a walking trail, a system of walking trails on the property, which would connect to the county's Yellow River walking trails, that it would remain private so that we would have the obligation to maintain it, including having public seating. So it would remain in our ownership, but we're required to keep it public so that all the community can enjoy it, as well as the remainder of the community, or the civic spaces. So I do think it's important to understand that this development does take into consideration what some of the community concerns that are out there. We certainly can't solve them all. We know that there are traffic issues everywhere in the county and along Crowell Road as well. That's why GDOT is engaged in this process. But we are here. This property was rezoned long before we came to it, long before most, if not all, of you came to it. But that's where we are with the current zoning. And right now, we're dealing with plat approval, which is a compliance exercise. And I want to talk a little bit about that. I'm not going to go through these in great detail, but there's an applicant obligation for preliminary plats, and that is presenting a plan that complies with the development regulations. There's a staff obligation, which again is to review the plat for compliance with the regulations. And the Planning Commission similarly. So this is a discussion about compliance with the development regulations. What I'm about to say is not strictly part of the discussion, but I think it's important for you to be aware of it, because I think you've rightly asked, why are there delays going on? This is an extension. These preliminary plats are good they expire after 2 years, unless you apply for the extension before the expiration. So this plat would have expired July of 2026. We filed the application for an extension in April 2026. Other than that, you're looking at it for compliance. But to Commissioner Edwards' point, there were delays from the original filing from 2023 until 2024 to go through the process of denial and then reversal by the court. After that, it was an issue related to GDOT and its programming of the projects along this roadway, along with the developer, the development next door, or next to us, as Sheena has pointed out. This comes right out of your staff report. So to answer the question, those are the reasons that there was delay, and that's why we are requesting the extension. So when we are talking about compliance exercises, your staff has concluded 4 times that this plat complies with the development regulations. It occurred twice before the court's reversal in January of 23, and then again in January 24, and then March of 2024. And then fast forward to last month before the Planning Commission, the staff again said that it complies with the requirements of the regulations. It is not advancing. There it goes. And the staff has concluded again here that we are in compliance with the plat. The plat has not changed, so we are in compliance. We all know, because we've talked about the litigation, that there was a court order. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. We made it part of the record, but it is important to understand that the court concluded the plat did, in fact, comply with all provisions of the Newton County Ordinance and the development regulations. So as a matter of law, the court has concluded that we are in compliance and nothing has changed. We don't want to go through litigation again. We hope you don't want to go through litigation again. We understand that there may be some community opposition, but this is a time to look at this with an eye towards objective compliance, and we would request approval of the extension. Thank you. We'll reserve the rest of our time.
Okay. Is there anyone else wishing to speak in favor? Okay, you reserved the rest of your time. Would you like to? Okay. Do we have anyone wishing to speak against this zoning? It'd be a total of 10 minutes.
Good evening. My name is Kim. So I was one of the ones that spoke in opposition during the Planning Commission, and I just want my voice to be heard in reference to when it was mentioned about the rentals. I live in Westfield Village. I came to a meeting in February here at the courthouse when it was 38% rentals in Westfield Village. March, it was 52% rentals. Now, as of today, up under the sound of my voice, whoever listening, either virtual or in place, there are now 81% rentals in Westfield Village. Georgia, Metro Atlanta is the epic center for rentals. Invitation Home is setting the market in Westfield Village, and we are all losing property value. So that night at the Planning Commission, it was asked, are these homes for sale or for rent? Because this is what Pulte did to us, the Phase 1 homeowners in Westfield Village. We were never told that it was going to be 81% rentals. So we have a right to know if a community is going to be zoned for single-family homes, let it be single-family homes. If it's going to be zoned for rentals, then allow us to make the decision if we want to rent there or live there. And I don't understand, every time we come to a meeting, we ask, can there be a cap? So I did my research. Clayton County has banned rentals altogether, meaning that they will have to zone housing area where the entire housing area is for rentals. Cherokee County has a cap on any mixed-use housing residential, 10% cap on rentals. And I just wanted my voice to be heard. That's why I was in opposition of it, because it seemed like Newton County keep allowing mixed-use, high density, and it turns into a rental property. I understand that President Trump signed a bipartisan bill, the 21st Century Road Housing Act, that puts a cap of 350 houses that a corporate landlord can purchase. So that means that Invitation Home has already purchased 350 houses in Westfield Village. They can go to another housing area based on this law and purchase another 350. There comes a time where we're going to have to fight stuff like this and not allow so many rentals, because corporate landlords are taking over the housing and they're pricing potential homeowners out of homeownership. Thank you for allowing me to speak.
Maya Allen, District 3. Good evening, Board. I'll be real quick. Two things. One, if the people that you put on the Planning and Zoning Board deny it, you should follow suit. If not, you should change the people that you've appointed to those seats. Secondly, isn't this the same one you referenced Superior Court that sued Newton County in order to get their approval? And now they're wanting an extension. You don't have to do that, and they know that, and that's why he pretty much threatened litigation. You can deny this tonight. There is no reason to table.
Tina McCrae, Dr. Tina McCrae, District 2. Two things. The screen talks about the UDO there, and Commissioner Long talked about how there was some other things that should be tabled until you all have the meeting about the UDO. And I think that something to think about is, because of the way the UDO was written, if you're going to be making some changes and doing some review, why not hold off making more decisions? This one here, as the people previously said, deny it. Okay, it was passively said that some of the residents in this presentation earlier, it was passively stated that some of the residents talked about how they didn't want it, but these people came up here and talked about how unsafe Crowell Road was and how scared they were for their lives being able to get out on the street to be able to enter that road because of schools and because of the traffic and how they were sandwiched in. And one man talked about how his home, people's home had been hit from other cars. It was a lot of stuff that was talked about that just went in one sentence about somebody passively talking about how they didn't want this. So I think you should really go back, look at the notes from the Planning Commission meeting, and then think about this again. But I'm suggesting that because of the UDL review, this should be denied. If not, if you're going to table it, it should be after you review the UDO and then come back and see, does this meet what you believe you want for Newton County? Thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Mike Strange, and I own all the property adjoining that property, all the way from Crowell Road all the way to the river. And my property actually goes half of the river. So nobody has ever come to me and said, we want to take and, make a walking trail or anything like that. So there's been no discussion on that. Nobody's ever come to me and said that. That's number one. Number two, there's an apartment complex that's starting to rent now that's going to have 250 homes, 250 apartments. So that's going to be, each family most time has 2 cars, so that's 500 cars. Then you got a subdivision across the street
that they're building, and it's gonna have 250 homes. That's gonna be another 500 cars on Crowell Road, and now they want to put this next door to my property over here and gonna have who knows how many more cars. So the traffic's just horrific out there. I mean, I'm in total denial of this. I mean, I want it. It shouldn't have never got this far. It should be denied. I'm gonna let somebody else speak. Thank you.
Good evening, Board. Elena Sanders. I was the one that also was a part of the crew that denied it, and also in the chambers was in our emails trying to get us to change our vote to because it was 5-0 and it went to court. But I just wanted to put this on the record, and I know this is the plat is already approved. They're asking for an extension, but just to give you guys some information about Crowell Road. When I was appealing the actual apartment complex in front of Newton High, I received the traffic study. Crowell Road won't start the process of widening until 2037, 2040. So building all of this and approving all of these homes, I'm telling you for the future, that it will not start widening until 2040. So please think about that before we bring more items. And then we're talking about the trails. What is it connecting to? We have to go to that actual subdivision because you haven't approved the trails. It's on Fairview Road. So we have to go into that subdivision, and he said it's going to be left private. That means it's going to be left to the HOA to take care of it. So that means that the HOA fees are probably going to be higher because now they have to maintain a trail that's going to be private. Thank you so much.
Good evening, Denise Williams, Newton County resident. We have been fighting for a long time, even though this project is now in District 4 because of the redistricting every 10 years. This project was originally in District 3, and we was fighting tooth and nail because of the traffic that that's on Crowell Road in the morning time and in the evening time. And also, what I want to say is, we building so many townhouses. I want to know, is the recommendation to put firewalls in these townhouses? Because we got a whole bunch of townhouses going up on Highway 81, then over here on Crowell Road. Now you're talking about Salem Road. Do these townhouses have firewalls? Because if not, when one of them catch on fire, all of them gonna burn up.
If there's no one else that wishes to speak against, we'll close that portion, and you can come back up. You have the rest of your time.
Thank you. There's just a few things that I wanted to talk about. One, we'll come back to the traffic issue. We know there's traffic out there, and there will be more traffic as there's more development. That's why we have lower density than is required, and we are complying with whatever the department, the county's department wants, and as it relates to GDOT. But those entrances to the development were specifically designed with that traffic report in mind to address whatever the county's concerns. So in terms of the trail, that we are doing what we can to provide our part of the connection to the trail, because that's what the county asked us to do. And we are committed to provide that because we think it's a good idea. We can't control what's adjacent to us. All we can do is provide our part of that connection, which we intend to do, and make sure that it's maintained. There was a question about safety and the firewalls. Yes, we have firewalls. We are our development's going to be constructed in accordance with the fire marshal's requirements and in accordance with the Uniform Fire Code, which would require firewalls. And in terms of As I understand this discussion about denying this because you want to consider it in the context of your UDO, we are entitled to have our development considered as of the time that we filed the application, the original application, because we are requesting an extension. We understand that the county goes through a process of reconsidering its comprehensive plan, periodically making changes to its UDO, which they're entitled to do. But when we are in a platting process, the rules are set, and that's what we are trying to comply with. We had gone through and looked at sort of the obligations. Our obligation was to provide you with a plat that complied with the code. Your staff's job was to review it in that context, and they did. They recommended approval and said that it complied with the code 4 separate times, as did the court. So we believe that we have complied with our obligation, and the Planning Commission is the same way. It does not have free rein to look at what would be zoning issues. Their obligation is to look at it in the context of the code. And for those reasons, we would urge you and request that the plat extension be approved. Thank you.
Do we have a motion?
Thank you, Madam Chair. This, I guess subdivision, what you want to call it, is in District 4. And what I would, I would like for it to be tabled for 60 days, in which we'll come back, and that'll give me an opportunity to do a deep dive with staff and the Planning Commission, in which that time I come back and make a motion either to go along with Judge McAfee's or to not approve it. My motion is to make a motion for 60 days.
We have a second. That was a motion. Do we have a second? Commissioner Long.
Couple things that I do agree with you, 60 days, we need more time to look at this. My concern is number one, you use the word entitled. I don't like that. These people in this county are entitled of what they get to have in their county, not just developers. I've been very strong on that. People don't understand that because I'm a real estate broker, but it does make sense that what a community wants and the way a community wants to grow, that's something that we are up here to make sure that we make sure this community grows the right way. You guys come in here, I don't know that you care what happens after you sell it and flip it and everything else, but those are my concerns. So don't say entitled, that's a terrible word, okay? Second thing, the trails. Trails are wonderful, but now all these trails all over the county, everybody's trying to get the county to maintain those. So we can't afford to maintain these trails. So I'm not sure what that discussion is, so maybe we need to go deeper into that. But once you change it, once you flip it and all that, then all that's gonna be convoluted in the development, okay? The other thing is it's like a bonus. Oh, we're giving you all this green space. No, you're giving us swampland. I'm looking at the map. So it's 13 acres with 96 homes on it. That is very tight. Sheena, you said this is in the same overlay as the last one we just looked at, and they're at 4.2. He's at 3.4 units. So how does that match anything? That does not match.
This is a different overlay.
It says the same. When I'm looking at the map, it says the same thing. It says 1 and 2. So that was Alma and this is Sabin? Okay.
Correct.
So we need to look at that, guys. This is for our next meeting. The next thing is it's not bonus land. This is swamp land that cannot be used. They are making 96 units be on whatever is usable. So those are my concerns, and those are the concerns of the people in Newton County, which I think that we have to do a better job. And when we do this UDO, we're gonna fix all that. I can tell you that right now, because this is bull crap. And I'm sorry, that's the way I feel. And everybody knows me here. I speak the way I want to. Okay, but we've got to look at all these things.
Is that a second? Yeah, second. You second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any more discussion? All in favor? Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Those are all the hearings for tonight.
Those are all? Okay, thank you. We'll go back to item number 7. Can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Second? All in favor? Okay, thank you. Now we'll move to item 16. And that'll be presented by Martie, Kinard. Consideration of TrueRoll software services agreement.
Good evening. I'm Martie Kinard, the Chief Appraiser of Newton County Assessor's Office. TrueRoll is a vendor that has came to us, and they are looking to audit our homestead process. They're also going to go through and look at ones that may have not applied for their homestead. But this is going to become very important for our digest figures in the future with the new HB 581 that has come in place, which now freezes values and only can increase by a certain incremental based on Department of Revenue every year. So what this service will provide is they will go through and look at all the homesteads in the county and compare it against various databases throughout the United States. It'd be the death certificates, driver's license, vehicle registrations, and other listings as well.
Do we have a motion? Second? Any discussion?
Yes, one.
Commissioner Long?
Thank you. I'm familiar with the software. I've been talking to you for quite some time about this, and I appreciate you rolling this in. A lot of times in my business, I hear about people that they'll say that I'm getting a senior tax exemption. I'm thinking, okay, I work with them every day. How are they getting that senior tax exemption? So I want the people that really deserve the exemptions to get the exemptions. And also it does help if somebody is missing homestead, because a lot of people don't remember from their real estate closing that they need to file for homestead.
Right.
But this software is going to save us so much money. And I know you have 138,000 here, but I wanted everybody to make sure that they understood that this is divided by 3 years. Okay, it's not 1 year at 138,000. It's divided by 3. We pay this meal monthly, and for what we're going to be paying for this service, we are going to make times over in mistakes and helping people. It's not only just to get more money, it's to help people too, because I know that when tax bills go out, people call me and I help them. I say, first thing I say to you is look at your property card, see if it's right. And a lot of people don't have homestead on there. And I sent someone down to your office, and your office did help her get homestead on there and everything. So this will flag some of those properties where we can help citizens to make sure that they are receiving the homestead, especially as we move more into this House Bill 581, all the things that the state is trying to do. It will save people money on that side, right. But also people that are using fraudulent items of claiming homestead. And I mean, I know people that have places in Florida, they claim homestead there, they claim homestead up here. So that is not fair for the system. So I do thank you for bringing this product, and I have enjoyed learning more and more about this product.
Yeah, we're excited to bring it on board as well.
Okay, got a motion second. All in favor? Okay, thank you. I think you have the next one too.
I do. So the next one is our a vendor that we've been using since 2021. This is Deen LLC. They are a company that is highly specialized in valuation of our personal property digest. This is all of our businesses within Newton County. So this requires a lot of specialized training, and a lot of the members within Deen LLC are prior Georgia Department of Revenue staff members. So they are very familiar with all of the ins and outs of the laws and the compliance issues that we have to meet as well. Like I said, this is a 3-year contract for them as well. It started back in 2021, and the $138,000 is also divided over 3 years, and it's actually about $47,000 a year that we pay them. And this is, you know, like 1.7 million of our digest that they actually handle for us.
Do we have a motion? Second? Any discussion? Commissioner Long?
I also have been working with Marty on this too. I did find a lot of information on this company. I don't know how you deep dive, but I did find a lot of information on Deen's LLC. And I talked to her in the past about working with this, and also some of your board members of the Board of Assessors about this particular company. So I do see that these people do work for other counties. I don't think it's a huge outfit, so they don't work for that many counties because they can't.
No, they can't.
Which I like. Number one about them not being part of Newton County, it keeps any kind of favoritism or any kind of problems away from our county because they don't know anybody. True. So I do like that they're not local. So just wanted to throw that out there. I know we had some comments earlier about that, but there are certain firms, and there's not a lot of these firms out there. You know, I work with them too sometimes, and with appeals and things. So I do think this is a good company. We have a proven track record with this company, correct?
Yep, correct.
Okay.
Like I said, we've been utilizing them since 21.
Okay, thank you.
All in favor? Okay, thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank you for what you do.
Yes, ma'am.
Appreciate
Thank
you.
Have a good evening.
We'll move to item number 18, consideration of step 2, resolution for the abandonment of Patey Drive, and that'll be presented by our county manager.
Good evening, Madam Chair, Commissioners. This is the second reading of the abandonment of Patey Drive, this pursuant to Newton County's regulations.
Okay, do we have a motion?
So moved, as stated by the county manager.
Second? Any discussion? Commissioner Edwards?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, is there another reading on this, James, after this one, or is this the last one?
This is the last one.
Okay, it seems like we did the first reading, what, a year ago?
About two and a half months ago.
Boy, okay, so, okay. I thought it was longer than that. All right, thank you, Madam Chair.
All in favor? Okay, thank you. We'll move to item 19, consideration of Newton County Fire Services proposed fee schedule revision. Our Chief Royce Turner and Fire Marshal Greg Campbell.
Good evening, Madam Chairman, Board of Commissioners. First, I want to introduce the new appointed Fire Marshal for Newton County, Mr. Greg Campbell. Wanted to make, so you can familiarize yourself with him. Also, we are lucky to get him from Tucker, Georgia, where he served as the Fire Marshal in that municipality. He brings a lot of education, experience, and certification into this space. He onboarded about 2 months ago, and since he's been here, he has hit the ground running. Today we're here to ask for approval to revise the fire service fee schedule. The current fire schedule hasn't been revised or even looked at for over 10 years, and from my research, of those 10 years, it was just copied and pasted. The fire service has expanded their scope of practice moving forward. So we did not increase what was already currently on the books. Only thing we did was added the additional services that we provide and added a fee with it. So we're asking for approval of those revisions.
Do we have a motion? Second? Any discussion? Commissioner Long?
This is my night to talk. Are these fees high enough? Are they comparable with Metro Atlanta?
The fees?
Yes, the fee sheet. I went over the
No,
fee
they're
sheet.
a little bit lower than Metro Atlanta.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and not that I'm trying to feed people to death, but I'm just, I think that we make sure that we do fair fees, but we can't just be in the Stone Ages either, because people are tired of paying property taxes. Those things have to come from other places. So I want to make sure that we're doing that right too. I know that sounds crazy to say, oh, charge more money. It's not that I'm saying charge more money. We need to be, if we're in Metro Atlanta County, we need to be where we need to be because we want to pay our staff, we want to make sure that we have all the equipment that we need and things, and whatever these fees are. I just felt like they were very low still, and I did not have time because we had a 330-page packet to do any more research on these fees, but just keep that in mind. I'm fine with the current fee structure that you guys have come up with, but just maybe we need to look at that on a yearly basis and to see what adjustments we need.
Well, that's the plan. The plan is to always look at all these ordinance and fees to make sure we're in a compatible place. Like I said before, the current fees, you're right, was very low, but at the same time, we was missing out on a lot of services we were providing, and we're providing them for free. So we just started attaching a fee to it. So we will look at it and modify it as we go, as the county grows, and then depending on the service demand.
All in favor? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
We'll move to items 20 and 21 by Ms. LaTonja Hamp.
Hello, my board and my chairman. How are you all? I'm coming to you this evening regarding two topics that we have not addressed in almost 10 years as well, which is the pricing and fee schedules for filming within Newton County. We currently know, of course, that Newton County has been named the Hollywood of the South, or should I say nicknamed the Hollywood of the South. And I'm not sure if people know, but we filmed over about 200 films that have been completed within Newton County from about 1954 to present. Over 70% of the films for tourism is actually considered, when they come to visit, it's film inspired. A lot of people want to come and visit to see where all of these shows and all of these films were done. So 70% of that is regarding filming. Also, again, we've not made any increases for any type of price changes for filming, which of course does not benefit Newton County. It's not a revenue generator if we're holding on to fees that are almost a decade old. And I wanted to add that we have never had any type of road closure fees. So normally when you travel within Covington and our surrounding cities, counties, municipalities, if they close a street or if they close a road, they actually charge fees for that. Newton County has never absorbed that until now, and I think it's necessary because we're already talking about community and or road damage. So now we'll actually have fees that are applicable based on the length of road time that there, or road space they're going to use to actually reserve it. So with that, the first thing that we're talking about is just making sure that our ordinances are up to date and that we are making sure that our ordinance rules are matching what our development services and what the guidelines are. And of course, we know the noise ordinance is approximately 11 o'clock at night to 7 in the morning. We're making sure that everyone is adhering to that. And we just want to make sure that our ordinances are up to date as far as our production companies. If they do go over, there are fees that they incur for going over the noise ordinance. Now, of course, filming is eligible to request a permit if they want to extend the time for approximately an hour. But there are fees that are incurred if they do want to do, if you're familiar with filming, some people do film overnight scenes because they really do need it done late at night. So I'm here, of course, to make sure that the ordinances are updated. Now, I provided a packet that is in front of all of you all, and I actually proactively emailed you all a copy of the proposed packet, price changes, rate schedules, and things of that nature. So I just wanted to make sure that we were okay with the documentation. I will say, Commissioner Leanne went in on this packet just to make sure that the information is definitely accurate. Thankfully, we didn't modify too much, but we did want to make sure that the language was very specific and clear. So hopefully everybody is okay with the modifications that are being made. I will say that the rules are listed, and if you also look in the documentation provided, the ordinance is already labeled. So at this point, we really just want to find out if you guys have any questions or need any clarification so we can move forward with the approval or for the vote.
Okay, Commissioner Henderson?
Question that I have is, who's gonna, I guess, gonna make sure that if they go over time, or who's gonna make sure that they pay? Is it gonna be something did by officer? I mean, I'm just trying to say who's gonna police it and make sure they comply.
Oh, thank you for that question. That is absolutely correct. When we're filming on county property and filming usually in communities, we do have to hire off-duty officers. So they are definitely on staff. We usually require a minimum of at least 2. So if they do go over, it is the officer's responsibility to shut it down, for less of a better term. They have to let them know they go by the permit. So if you, and I'm not sure if you know, but filming is actually scheduled in 12-hour increments. So if they start at 7 in the morning, usually it ends at 7 p.m. in the evening. But if they are permitted to film until 11 o'clock at night, then it ends at 11 o'clock at night. Anything that goes beyond that is when the fees incur, and the officers do notify us of that. So they are approved or permitted to film for the time frame that is documented on the actual permit, and they do have to keep those permits on their person.
Commissioner Long?
Thank you, LaTonja. You spent a lot of time on this. I appreciate it. We worked together on it.
Yeah.
I have first-hand experience of dealing with filming when my office was in Conyers downtown area, and it can be, it's great and it's beautiful and it's fun and it was exciting, but from a business owner standpoint, it was not fun at all. And so I made sure that we looked at all the provisions about, business owners being, and homeowners and people in the county being inconvenienced by it. Because it's great to see it one time, but when it happens every week, it is not fun for somebody.
Especially when it's a series.
Yeah, especially when your business has to be closed, or you have to walk 2 miles from your car being parked somewhere else to your business. So there it should be, and we do have that in there, some consideration for that. We did make sure that any deputies or any staff or anybody that was hired, they would be considered off duty.
Right.
They could not receive money from the county and from the movie set. Okay.
Correct.
So that was great. We worked on the language there. I think it said that, but it wasn't clear.
Right.
So thank you. I think you did an outstanding job on this, and I appreciate you being open to some of the changes that we worked together on. So thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner Edwards?
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, and thank you for this package, LaTonja. But
Yes,
I know the road closure and street closure fees are new,
Mm-hmm.
so we won't have any idea of the increase on that because they're new. But so, if you had to guess, and I hate to put you on the spot, of the existing fees, the increases you show, would you have any idea of what percentage increase that would be on those fees?
So
If you had to guess.
No, I really wouldn't, because see, here's the issue that we run into as far as filming, and I'll just say for residential, we are right now technically increasing the permit fee. Believe it or not, we have only charged $50 for a permit. Every film that has ever been filmed was $50. Mm-hmm. So at least we're becoming at parity with the surrounding municipalities, which is $200 to $250 per permit. However, there is a $500 rush fee. Now, although we give a permit or provide a permit, let's say for $250, if they want to film at your residence, Commissioner, you can charge them or come to a contracted price, which is not disclosed to us because it's your residence, mm-hmm. but you get all the funding from that. So we would have no idea. If they filmed at your business, we would have no idea of that funding. The only time we're going to actually benefit from the revenue increase is what is newly being implemented for road closures, as well as if they decide to film on county property. Now, we know that the filming industry has died down quite a bit, but it's building back up. So that's our drive, is to kind of get them to start filming back on our county property. Factory Shoals, Cornish Creek, they're being repaired. Gaither is now going to be repaired. So hopefully, once these repairs are done, leaning into 27, fiscal year 27, we'll be able to regain some of that revenue. But a lot of it is really going to help us when it comes to those road closure fees, because the homeowners and the business owners do not benefit from anything, but if they damage anything on our road, we never incurred any fees. And of course, our road department had to trudge right out there, repair those roads, and it was always on county dollar.
I know logger, not to cut you off, but I know the loggers have to file buy a bond. Is that correct? A property bond, is that correct? So that may be a consideration that you know, they're going to stress our infrastructure, that we make them purchase some type of bond for any damages they do incur. But I was just curious. Thank you anyway. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Do we have a motion? Second? All in favor? Okay, it's unanimous.
Yay. Okay, and so the next one, if I'm not mistaken, is that our incurred fees, the increased fees? Okay, so this is basically just kind of going over what we just went over to make sure that you guys were okay with the charges. And I'll just kind of put it out here at random, read it for record, and it's also in your packets. But the permit fee, of course, is $250, will be increased to $250. The rush fee, anything less than 10 business days, it's going to be $500 in addition to the $250. And of course, if they want to close a road, and let me be clear on the road closure, just so that we're clear, we are adamant that we do not want to do a 100% road closure unless it's absolutely necessary. And we do include our road department director, and we also include the sheriff's department officers, usually Sergeant Jack or Lieutenant Miles, to actually go out and look at the road to even make sure it's feasible. And what we try to go for is usually intermittent, because realistically there is school traffic, emergency vehicles, trucks that kind of need those roads for passage, especially in the unincorporated Newton County. So whenever we try to accommodate filming for road closures, we try to go with intermittent first, and then we can possibly consider, which is also in the language, possibly consider a full road closure, but only if it's feasible. And so with that, if they wanted to do up to half a mile, because as you know in movies, they have driving scenes, you know, which take a little bit to get from one place to another. So half a mile is going to be 1,000. Over half a mile to a mile is 2,000. Up to 3 miles is 3,000. Each additional mile would be 1,000. Full road closure at minimum is going to be 3,000. A refundable damage deposit is $2,500. Of course, the law enforcement fees, fire, EMS if they are needed to be there, as well as traffic control devices. And then, of course, the overnight fee. If they do need to film overnight, there's a charge for that as well. But all of this is actually in the packet. It's going to be posted for fiscal year 27, and all of our new production companies will be well aware of what those new prices will be. So it's a revenue add for the county that we never had before.
Do we have a motion? Second? Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, thank you.
Thank you
Thank you
all
so much for
so
working
much.
on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
go to item number 22, and that will be presented by our county attorney, Ms. Johnson.
Good evening, Commissioners. Before you for consideration is a quitclaim deed. It's related to a road project, a city road project in the city of Covington. So essentially, the city of Covington and Newton County, they share ownership of a parcel of land, and the amount that they need for the road project is 0.069 acres. So you might have seen it on the drawing that they have. It's just a very small strip of land that they would like the county to deed its interest to the city because it will be a city maintained road. I'm able to answer any questions that you may have.
Commissioner Long.
Yeah, I was able to look this up. It is in District 5. It makes very much sense to give this to the city and go ahead. So I will make a motion to approve the grant. Approve the conveyance of the property over to the city.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, that passes. Thank you. We'll go to item number 23, consideration of grant agreement between Newton County and Piedmont Newton Hospital, Inc. for the allocation of opioid settlement funds. And this will be presented by Mr. James Brown.
Good evening again. The $50,000 was approved some time ago with Newton Piedmont Hospital. This is the grant that we finally came to a conclusion on. Went back and forth between both legal departments for a while, and we presented to the board for approval.
Do we have a motion? Second? Okay. All in favor? Okay, thank you. Go to item 24. This will be a first reading. On premises consumption license, T's Event Center, 3281 Salem Road, Covington, Georgia, 30016. Owner, Shondell Allison, District 2. Development Services reports there are no active code enforcement violations or issues associated with this business. The location has received approval from the fire department. We'll go to item 25, which is the first reading on premises agreement, consumption license, Sabores de Alma. That is LLC, 2465 Highway 81, Covington, Georgia, 30016, District 3, owner, Lucirio Ramirez. Now we'll go to our public comments. This is the time for anyone who would like to speak. You will have 3 minutes to speak. So if we have anyone that wants to make any public comments.
Good evening, Dave Norton of Newborn. Before I forget, the Agenda Center on the county website shows 2 public hearings for millage rates, and when I click on the link, all I get is a blank page. It says nothing about the time, location, or anything, and I know the first one's the same date as the Planning Commission meeting. This Thursday, we have a meeting for it's open to the public, for a UDO update. That's a good chance for anyone out here to come hear what's on the UDO, what's proposed to be on the UDO, because when it comes to the hearings, if you hear it then, you don't have time to form much of an opinion, and you only get 3 minutes. So I would encourage everyone to attend that meeting. in the UDO coming up, if you don't like chickens in your yard, don't rezone agricultural land into residential so that it's surrounded by farms, or you're going to have problems. If you don't want a data center, don't give them the option. We have them in Stanton Springs. That's the only place they need to be. Thank you.
Good evening again, Kim, District 3. I didn't get a chance to say earlier. So Metro Atlanta, the Big Five, the top 3 corporate landlords, Invitation Homes, which our Senator Ossoff has launched an investigation on Invitation Homes. Invitation Homes in Metro Atlanta owns 7,861 homes. The next one up, second on the list, is Petroleum Partners. They own 7,171 homes in Metro Atlanta. Amherst Holdings owns 4,061 homes. This is becoming a problem. And I'm gonna say one more time, this needs to be in the UDO. If Clayton County can do it, Cherokee County can do it, so can Newton County. We are better than this. We are better than this. They are pricing potential homeowners, mainly young people, millenniums and Gen Z, out of being homeowners. This is becoming an epidemic, and we just on the other end of the spectrum. In 2007, we had subprime lending scandals where they was putting people in homes that couldn't afford it. Now we on the other end of this spectrum where we still have Wall Street pricing people out of homes to become potential homeowners. Thank you.
Dr. Tina McCray, District 2. And I just want to say, first of all, thank all of you tonight for making considerations to put some things off and think more about what some of the decisions were. And one of the things I want to ask you to consider is, while we're not up here just always complaining about what we don't want, what we're asking you to do is, we have all this so-called road expansions, but yet we keep approving building before the roads are expanded. So we don't know what it's going to do to us. We know right now, let me take it back, it's a lot for us. We are sandwiched in. I know you're tired of hearing about Westfield Village, but you all should do a study on Westfield Village. Because another thing that was brought up about walking trails. Honey, Westfield Village has a sign that says walking trails, and let me tell you, it leads right to the water reservoir runoff. There is no walking trail. They told y'all evidently it was a walking trail. It's got a sign that there's a walking trail, and there is not a walking trail. It leads to trash. Like Commissioner Long was talking about swampland. That's exactly what we have. It's a mess. And so I'm asking you, if the Planning Commission is saying no to some stuff, because we've been coming to them saying, hey, we have a problem over where we live, and it's because of some stuff that was approved. I'm asking you to stick to your guns, hold this stuff off, decline what you need to decline, and look at the UDO and give us time, take time, like you're doing, to agree to step back, but then say no. For us, thank you that people think they're entitled to come in and buy land and do whatever they want to us when we live here. That's not right. And so I'm telling you, this is happening. That walking trail stuff sounds good, but I'm telling you, it can be fake if nobody's watching. I like how it was asked, who's going to hold people accountable? I'm asking you to do more to hold people accountable that's coming into this community and saying what they're going to build, and then they bait and switch, you and us. This is happening to you all as well, but we're the ones living with it, because who's coming out there and looking at what these people say they're going to do? I'm asking you to do more this time when this comes up. Thank you very much.
Well, we'll conclude the public comments at this time, and we'll go to the commissioners' comments. Commissioner Edwards? Commissioner Mason? No comment. Commissioner Cooper?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to say, yes, we do need to do a lot of work on the UDO, especially in District 3. We do have the most high density. So we do need a lot of work. And also, my planning person and I, we talk a lot. And we talk before and after each meeting. So we are pushing back on high density, and I don't think we have approved any high density, or have we approved any gas station. So I just want to make sure that was on the record.
Commissioner Henderson.
Thank you, thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to say this, and I'll be very, very brief. Yes, I have a commission, planning commission members, et cetera. But at the end of the day, the buck stopped right up here. And that's where I'm at. Thank you.
Commissioner Long.
Thank you. I want to say that the UDO work session this week is a work session for the Board of Commissioners, not a public hearing. Just so you know, I have been advocating for about 9 months for us all to figure out a time, and it's very hard because we all have jobs and we all have schedules and everything, to get together in a room and kind of hammer some of these things out with this UDO. I think it's so important that we have to focus on it, kind of shut out the noise and focus for a little bit. So, everybody's been working their part and everything, so I do appreciate that. So I'm happy that our county manager did set that up for us to have this session. We're probably gonna have to have more than one. So I do think that's very important. As long as I'm gonna be on this board for 3 more years or 2.5 more years, I'm gonna advocate for the citizens and myself, because I am a citizen. And I'm gonna make sure that what comes to this county is something we can be proud of, and I'm not threatened by lawsuits and things like that. Every commissioner up here has a specialty that they have in their job. They know different things, and we've talked about this many times. Mine just happens to be real estate. So I do take some of those skills that I've had for the last 35 years and use those for the UDO and other things that we work on. We've been successful since this last 2 years in lawsuits and making sure that Newton County is presented the way that we need to present it, and we've won many lawsuits, so we're not afraid of those. And yeah, there's some people that don't want to spend money on legal. I don't care. If it's going to save our county and save the people in our county, we're going to have to spend some money on legal to win these lawsuits against these developers and send a message that Newton County is speaking for their own people. So I'm sorry, that's how I feel about that one. Also, I'm not that easy to live with. Y'all can imagine that, right? I want to say happy anniversary to my husband of 39 years this week. And he's a wonderful man to put up with me as long as he has. So I appreciate that, and I just want to tell him I love him. Thank you.
Do we have a motion to adjourn? Second? All in favor? Thank you all for coming tonight.